I've just uploaded this video to see if anyone is able to help or offer any advice with my sick blue dwarf gourami. This is currently my quarantine tank, which he is living in at the moment. It's about 20-25 litres, and the temperature set to about 26 degrees C. He came from a communal 180 litre tank with a few fish in, but all those fish are or appear to be okay. When he was in the main tank, we noticed that he was bowed, or he seemed to, like, as you can see there, bow for a few days. Then over a period of about a week, he developed a patch on the right hand side of his body, just back from his gill, which you can probably still see now on the video every now and again. I think initially actually it was the first time around it was a lot darker, and actually kind of looked like it had gone into the flesh a bit. He would also swim erratically from time to time when he was in the big tank. At this point, I set up this quarantine tank and moved him in here. He was about 2 months. This was about 2 months ago. I treated this tank and our main big tank with eSHa 2000 treatment, which was recommended to me by the Aquatic shop I went to and spoke to about him. After about 5 days, I'd done a partial water change. As this is a 20-25 litre tank, it would be between 5 and 8 litres. And again, at that point, I added some extra API stress coat and also salted the tank to try and help him out a little bit. And I obviously continued partial water changes every 5 to 7 days. Over the next few weeks, his spot disappeared and all his scales and fins went back to normal. But he wasn't swimming around as much as he usually would. I put this down to him being in the smaller quarantine tank. He also seemed to spend a lot of his time up near the heater, even when it wasn't on. Although his kink still remained, and occasionally he would still be erratic, two of the reasons that I wasn't really convinced I should be putting him back yet. The wife said that I should return him to the main 180 litre tank, but as I said, I wasn't really convinced yet, so he remained in here. I guess he remained in here for about 2 months in total, but appeared to become well again, and the only issue we had was his occasional erratic swimming and his bend, as you see there. During this time, I also gave him another treatment of the eSHa 2000. As the wife wanted the space back in the kitchen, she convinced me that I obviously needed to put him back into the main tank. So I think it was a few days before Christmas that I reluctantly put him back into the main tank. And initially seemed fine, and I guess he swam around a bit and seemed to enjoy being back in there. But it seemed to be within about 30 to 60 minutes his spot started to come back, and within about 2 hours he deteriorated quite rapidly. So at this point I took him back out and put him back in the quarantine tank, which I hadn't emptied. The only thing I had done is change about half the water to try and give it a bit of a clean up. For the first few days, he was how he was originally when I first put him in. Still swimming around, but erratic at times. Then he just started staying up near the top and seemed to become really lethargic, but still erratic at times. Again, up until this point, he still had a good appetite, and he would eat, I guess obviously when he was hungry and when we fed him. He still eats, but not as much now, and as you see, I'm just putting in now some bloodworm, which and other sort of like frozen fish, as well as frozen fish food, as well as some of the flakes he would eat, and you'll probably see him peck a bit of that, and he did actually eat a bit when I wasn't filming. So like I said, he still eats, but not as much. He now would float near the top more often, rather than kind of swim or hang underneath the surface. This started vertically, and he'd occasionally swim around, but throughout his time there he seemed to spend most of his time up near the water heater anyway, even when it was on. He then started to float diagonally, which lasted a few days, and then it sort of became horizontal up near the top. Then one morning, a few days ago, he was lying on the bottom, and I thought that was it, he was gone. But when I went up to him, he was still breathing, and he swam around a little bit. which kind of took me by surprise, and he's been like that kind of ever since. As you see in the video, he might be up near the top or swim around or be erratic, but then kind of lays on the floor, and that's what he's been doing for the past few days as well. But he will sort of lie at the surface as well occasionally. Anyway, so if anyone can help or offer any advice or know what is up with him, this would be appreciated, and hopefully the video might help you see him a bit. But thanks for watching.